In less than 60 minutes, I'm going to give you the complete step-by-step guide on how to build a park just like this. And I've been playing this game for about 10 years, and in those 10 years, something I've always liked to do is build my park out to look like a real park and not like it's only made for coin profit. Now, while early on, having those coins can obviously help you, I've found that later in the game, when you have a lot of creatures leveled up, it's just not that helpful, at least for me anyway, to do that. So what I started doing was making my parks look like a real theme park. So the first thing I'm going to have you guys do is obviously all of the roads. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up, and you guys can just pause the video when you need to and go ahead and copy all of these roads here. Just like that. And now that you've gotten all of your roads, we will go ahead and move on. Now, how I'm going to go ahead and do this is I'm going to do all the decorations and everything first. So going ahead and starting with our buildings first, we're going to have our zipline ride. Now for this first area kind of going up here, we have our sky point down here, and we have the gift shop and the ice cream shop next to each other. And then above those, we have the Cineplex here, the Pterosaur Cineplex. So up here in this big open space up at the top, there is 3 different buildings. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys where they are because it's a bit confusing. So we're going to leave a 4-space gap to the right of this air balloon. And then obviously this coffee shop down here is in the bottom right, and the hotel is in the top left. Just below that big section, we have these 2 spaces that we are going to fill with our VIP garden and our zipline ride. Okay, so right here in this section to the left of the zipline ride, we're going to go into the space below that, and in this top right corner, we're going to do our egg spinner ride. And if we go to the section to the right of that and then go down one, we're going to put our solar greenhouse in that space right there. Okay, so in the bottom left, this is definitely the most busy area for decorations. This 3x3 space here, we're going to do our arcade. Just below that to the right, where we can see that this fits in here, it's going to go all the way to the left side of this square. Below the arcade, we're going to have a bistro all the way at the bottom, leaving us a 3x3 space just above that. And in the very middle of this section here, we are going to have a drop tower. So as you can see, we left 4 squares and 4 squares on either side of that drop tower. Now for the last building in the carnivore area, we're going to have an ice cream stand right here. We're leaving us a 2x2 gap just above and 4 spaces just below. So as you can see, our line going through right here, everything above that is going to be all of our carnivores up here. So the next thing we're going to go ahead and get started with is decorations, of course. So starting back at the beginning where we started, right next to the sky point, we are going to do a Park of Prehistory. In the space above and to the left of the zipline ride, we have a sundial and a tropical planter. While we have our tropical planter, we're going to go to this section to the left and do a tropical planter there. We're going to move all the way up to where the egg spinner is and put one just behind the egg spinner. We're going to go up to the very top, just off of the corner of the hotel here. As you can see, we're leaving the 4 spaces behind the hotel and 4 spaces next to the hotel. Right there. Over here to the right next to the coffee shop, actually moving just to the bottom here where the ice cream stand is, we are going to put a tropical planter next to the ice cream stand, and that is actually going to be our last tropical planter for this section here. Moving on with the geysers here, one of my favorite decorations, I would say. We're going to go just behind the drop tower and put one. In the bottom left corner of this square where we have our egg spinner and our tropical planter, we're going to do one right there. We're going to move right to the top, and just behind the tropical planter, we're going to place one. And we're going to move right here behind the coffee shop, and we're going to actually go 4 spaces over, leaving us a 4-space gap, as you can see, and we're going to do one right there. We're going to move over to the right in this section here, kind of just diagonally to the right of the coffee shop, and we're going to do one right there. And I believe we are actually going to do our last one next to this tropical planter here. Another decoration that I like to use pretty often, just because it gives a 16% boost, is this clock tower here. Just below this geyser at the kind of middle top section here, we're going to do one clock tower there, and we're going to move to the left below the hotel, and we're going to move right over to this section just above the egg spinner here, and we're going to go right above the tropical planter there, so leaving 4 spaces on the right and left. And for our last clock tower of this section, we're going to move just where the ice cream stand and the tropical planter is, and place our last one right there. So we're going to do a Stegosaurus garden sculpture here, and just behind the clock tower, we are actually going to do a T-Rex garden sculpture right there. We're going to quickly move down here to the bottom, to the left of the sky point, and we're actually going to fill these spaces here. And what we're going to do there is a Paradise Lagoon, and next to the Paradise Lagoon, we're going to do a Spinosaurus skeleton. Has pretty good range on it, actually, and with a 10% boost, it's actually a pretty good statue. Now, to the left of our Spinosaurus skeleton here in this pretty large section, what we're going to do is something that I often like to do with my parks, and that is our Velociraptor statues here. So we're going to place them just like this. Now, what I would suggest you guys do with these statues here is I place them in a way where whenever I place down the Velociraptors I only have 3 of them. I do not have Charlie. So that's why I've put Charlie in the top right. So I can do blue in this spot here, and then I can do Charlie and Delta in those spots there, just to kind of match up with the statue. I think that's a pretty cool way to kind of lay out that spot. We're going to move to the left of that, right above the arcade, in this kind of 2 wide spot here. And what we're going to do is do our new Amber motorcycle. A lot of you guys should have that. It's a pretty new decoration, I do believe. Also, the Jurassic Park gates, which was a newer decoration. I am kind of disappointed that I think we either didn't get it or they didn't even do it. But there's a decoration that goes along with this one that actually connects to the front right here, and it's a like T-Rex kind of statue. But unfortunately, we don't have that, so kind of sad. To the right of that gate, real quick, we are actually going to place down a Velociraptor garden sculpture, which if I can find it in here, there it is. Just to the right of that, as you guys can see. We're going to go just up to our solar greenhouse right here. And we're going to grab a wooden bridge and put that right next to that. So right here below the zip line, we're going to have 2 different decorations, and those being the bonfire in the right corner and a T-Rex garden sculpture to the left of that. Sorry, I actually did miss a tropical planter just here on the left side next to the geyser. Couple little ones over here. So next to this geyser, we're going to do a water fountain. To the right of where we just placed that water fountain, we're actually going to do a bonfire and a flower bed. I think it's a daisy bed right here next to the bonfire, leaving us with 2 4x4 spaces for our carnivores. Just to the right of the our bridge that we placed down earlier next to the solar greenhouse. We're gonna actually do a sundial there, and to the right of that sundial, we're gonna do our Mr. DNA statue. I just want to say real quick, if you guys do not have any of the limited or even like the VIP decorations, because I know some of them are locked behind like VIP exclusives, like this lagoon, for example. It's locked behind a VIP exclusive, so I know you guys don't have that. So, like, some things you could do real quick, I'm just going to move this just to show you, is take, like, a 2x3 statue that goes this way, and you can fill that with either, like, 2 of these, like I'm demonstrating here, right? Or, obviously, there's some other buildings that kind of fit in that space, too. I know the Badlands Amphitheater, like, fits in that space, so that would be a good one to place there. But if you guys don't have them, definitely don't keep it from having you guys build this park. Just like find ways to replace them with more unique things, and make sure you guys try and spread that out. You don't want too many of one decoration in one specific area. With that, I think that only leaves us with a couple more decorations in the carnivore area over here, and we're gonna do a water path garden on top of that geyser there, and in the middle of the space just below the hotel right here, we're going to make sure we do it in the middle. We're going to leave a 4x4 space on each side. We're going to do a John Hammond there, and just below the John Hammond is going to be a park oasis. Okay, 2 more just at the bottom. That's going to be an amber pedestal just above the ice cream shop, and just behind the bistro here, we're going to do an earth park. And with that, that actually finishes all of our decorations. Actually, what I'm going to go ahead and do is place down all of the dinosaurs and then just kind of go over where they are so you guys can match that if you guys want to. But if not, obviously anything above this line here where we were building, and anything to the left of this line going down the very middle, just all carnivores in these spaces. And real quick, I actually missed one, so we're going to put a water fountain below the hotel in this line here, just above the clock tower. Now, I went ahead and placed all of the carnivores down, and I actually did miss a geyser up here in the top. If you guys are missing that would be why. But anyway, a couple things I would like to mention before I kind of show you guys all of them. If you guys are placing these on your own, I would try and place whatever your best earning creature is. So, like, for example, my Reaver Spino here obviously makes a lot. I want to put it where it's going to get the most boost. So, obviously, it gets 70 right there. I don't think there's any other spaces that really earn more, as you can see, like 20, 40. But I have my hybrids and a lot of things that earn more coin, just kind of where they're gonna make the most coin, just to kind of keep your coins up. Obviously, if you don't really care, then go ahead and place it wherever, but that's what I've done just to kind of make it a little more efficient, since we're kind of doing it this way. Okay, so what I went ahead and did our Raptor squad here. I did 2 super hybrids in between the drop tower, because I thought the colors of the drop tower kind of went well with the super hybrids there. I did most of the hybrids right out front of the hotel. I figured that was a good idea. Just in front of the Jurassic Park gates, I did Indominus Rex and T-Rex Gen 2, the OG T-Rex, the regular T-Rex, and just behind those I did Bull and Rexy. Just above, like, the Spinosaurus sculpture, I went ahead and did our Spinosaur, obviously, and our couple other Spinosaur types that we have. And to the right, I kind of did some random ones in here. I got Proceratosaurus, Giga Gen 2, Irritator Gen 2. I got Carnotaurus, Allosaurus, Velociraptor up the top, our Velociraptor Gen 2, and Dilophosaur just below that. At the very top, kind of around the hotel, we have a Giganotosaurus, Brachistega, Irritator, Majungasaur, and Guanlaw. And one last thing, I did place a Herbivore to fill this middle space here. You guys can place whatever you guys want, obviously, but I did this creature. I don't even know how to pronounce it, so I'm not gonna try. But it looked like the meanest creature. It looked like it it hold itself pretty well against the carnivores. So that's what I did. So moving right on over to our amphibians, we're going to go ahead and start again with our buildings first. Going right along the top, we went ahead and just below the hotel did a burger restaurant, and next to that we did an ice cream stand. Right below the burger restaurant, if you go straight down to this 2 wide gap here, we're going to put our Ferris wheel in the bottom of this kind of 2 wide gap. And just next to that, in this 2x2 space, we are going to do our flying ride. Just to the bottom to do a maze, an amazing maze. To the right of the maze, we're just going to do a water park, because to kind of go along with our amphibian themed area, you know, trying to keep it themed, right? If we go 1 square above our water park and to the right, we have this 3x3 space here, and we're going to do a supper club. Moving down here to this 3 wide space, we're going to do a sky point on the left side of that square. And below that, in this different size space, we have a speedy go-kart track. And to the right of the speedy go-kart track, why not do another burger restaurant? Because who doesn't like burgers? To the right of the burger restaurant, we have our hologram museum. And our last couple buildings down here at the bottom is going to be a Badlands Amphitheater here. A helicopter, what's it called? A heliport in the very bottom space. If you guys do not have these VIP buildings, feel free to put whatever amphibians you guys have in those spaces. We have 2 power generators going here and here, and to the left of those power generators, we're just going to have a little maintenance facility over in the corner. So that's going to do it for the buildings. So we're going to go ahead and move on to decorations here, and we're going to start up by the super hybrid carnivore that we placed in the last section over here on the left side, and we're going to do a daisy bed there first. Next to that daisy bed, we're going to have a geyser, as well as our lovely tropical planter, a tar pit just behind the burger restaurant, and just in front of the ice cream stand here, we're going to do our Colossus 04 statue. Quickly jumping on down behind the Ferris wheel here, we're going to do a Velociraptor garden sculpture. To the right of the sky point, we're going to do a tropical boulevard, one of my favorite decorations. Just next to this second burger station here, we have a cherry blossom kind of in between all these other decorations that we have. Jumping over to the right, we went ahead and did a water fountain there, and just next to, or just below the waterfall park, we have a earth park, just like that. Above the water park, we went ahead and did a clock tower and a sundial. Just above the supper club here, we are going to do our 10-year anniversary Jurassic World decoration. Super awesome decoration. I love it very much. I love it very much. Moving to the bottom of this bigger square next to the Earth Park, we're going to do something like this with 2 geysers diagonally from each other. And on the bottom of that, we're going to do our crocodile boss statue. And we are going to do a John Hammond statue above to make that filled in there, and we are leaving ourselves with a 4x4 space at the top for one of our amphibians. Now, finishing off our decorations at the bottom, we are going to do a T-Rex garden sculpture below the hologram museum, and to the right and left of our revenue tower here, we have a geyser and a bonfire to the left. And that is going to do it for our decorations. So what we are going to do is go ahead and place down our amphibians just like the last section, and I'll kind of go over them for you guys, and we will finish this section off. Okay, and that is all of our amphibians down. So quickly what I kind of did was I did the super hybrid up here at the top just to kind of keep those ones together from the carnivores and the amphibians. I did Caprasuchus, Nundasuchus, and Prionosuchus here. I did 2 hybrids at the top with Diplotator and Pterosaur. The reason why I put those 2 there is because they typically give me the most coins, and I have this decoration as well as these decorations, which give a quite a bit of boost. So that'll help with coins. We got Deosuchus down here. We have Prestasuchus right in front of the Supper Club. Down just in front of the Ferris wheel, we have Pretty Flux and Microposaurus, Metaposaurus, and Sarcosuchus, and Mastodontosaurus just below the maze. And just at the bottom, we have Osteoposaurus. And we are officially halfway done with our park here. We're going to scooch right on down over to this right corner where we're going to start right middle. Starting off the park strong here, we have a roller coaster at the top. Just next to that, we have a zip line. And if we bring the flying ride just down, like straight below the zip line, kind of, we have this 2x2 section here, and we're going to do a flying ride there. Moving to the top, kind of to do this section up here, we have a security office just above the zip line, you can see. And over to the right, we have this 2x4 section, and we are going to do a Ferris wheel right there. Just above that Ferris wheel, we are going to quickly throw down a Triple Crown Hotel. Now, straight below the Ferris wheel, we have a bistro, and if we jump 2 spaces, so below that bistro, if we skip 2 spaces, and on the 4th space, leaving 2 spaces in between, we're going to do a Badlands Amphitheater. Moving to this right corner, we are going to do another hotel, because what's better than 2 hotels? Well, 3 hotels, I guess. Just above the revenue tower, I guess. We're going to do, yeah, it is a revenue tower. We're going to do a hotel there, and just in front, or below, sorry, we're going to do a speedy go-kart track right there. You know, you ever want to just like leave the hotel and go straight to go-karts? You know what I mean? Like, that's it. Just to the right, we're going to skip a space, and then we're going to do a sky point. So you can go high, you know?
Oh, no, this is nothing like that. We're in a completely different situation right now.
Just behind the hotel, we're going to throw down a roller coaster. And kind of finishing off this bottom corner, just next to the hotel, we're going to do a coffee shop. Moving right down, just kind of diagonally to the left of the amphitheater, we are going to have another sky point on the bottom section of this 2 wide space. Going diagonally down to the right, we're going to have our Pterosaur Cineplex. Now in this very bottom corner here, we're going to do a Horizon Observatory, and to the left of that, we're going to do a zipline ride. And just above that, for our final decoration, we have a Navigator blimp ride. So starting just at the top where we started with our roller coaster, we're going to do a Cherry Blossom to the left of it, and then to the left of the Cherry Blossom, we're going to do a Tropical Boulevard, like so. Below the roller coaster here, we did a arch, and below that, we did one of the new decorations, which is actually Angel and Rebel. I felt like it kind of went with the whole like arch theme, kind of chromey theme. I thought it was pretty neat. Just to the left of that, we're actually going to do a daisy bed and a tropical planter in the bottom of that space. Moving down here next to the flying ride, we're going to do our boss statue, which is our Phoenix 44. These two spaces in between the bistro and the amphitheater, we're going to do a Spinosaurus skeleton and a Earth Park. Now going to the right of the amphitheater, we are going to do a clock tower, and then to the right of the clock tower, we are going to do a Jurassic World flag. Just behind the coffee shop, obviously there's a road there, and we're going to do a tropical planter. In between the hotel and the Sky Point, we are going to do another clock tower, and below the Sky Point, we are going to do a tropical boulevard. Keeping on down below that, we have a tropical planter and a geyser for the last spot. Just like that. Hopping on over to this interesting little section here where we have the road running up, we're going to do, we're going to do a amber pedestal and another geyser, because why not another geyser? To the left of that amber pedestal, we have a tar pit. Now there is no roads right next to the border, I guess. There's no roads there, so it's just don't run a road there, or else obviously you won't be able to fit a decoration in there. Right in front of the Pterosaur Cineplex, we did a mystery cavern, and to the left of that, in order, we have Velociraptor garden sculpture, a geyser, and a tropical boulevard. Right below that tropical boulevard, we are going to put a John Hammond, and to the left of that John Hammond, we're just going to do a Pterosaur sculpture. The garden sculpture, not the big skeleton. For the last couple spaces down here at the bottom that need filled, we're going to do a modern arch just next to the zip line. And in this too wide space, we're going to do a geyser, and we're going to do a Stegosaurus garden sculpture. Just like that. On the left over here, above the blimp we are going to do an amber pedestal, as well as another garden sculpture, a Pterosaurus garden sculpture, that is. Just above the Sky Point, which I believe is our last decoration, is a sundial. And that is going to do it for all of our decorations. We're going to go ahead and get all of our pterosaurs down. If you guys want to place your pterosaurs, don't forget there is a boss going right here, which is going to be our boss pterosaur, but you guys can obviously do whatever boss you guys have. So here we are, guys, in our herbivore area, and funny enough, this is actually the day after while I was editing, and I realized that I didn't actually record this section, so here I am from the future, I guess. But we're going to go ahead and get this done. Starting off with our buildings, obviously, we placed a couple from earlier, so we're going to start with a maze up here at the top. Right there, and just below that, we're going to go ahead and place down our speedy go-kart. Down here at the bottom, near this revenue tower, we're going to have a burger station just below it, and an arcade to the left of it at the top of this square here. Going right up here, closer to the top side, moving our way up, we're going to have our Navigator blimp ride in the top of this square. Up here in these 2x2 spaces, we put the Cloud9 balloon down. Straight across in the 3x3 space, we are going to do our Dizzy Dino ride. Diagonally to the left of that, we have our Wildlife Preserve. And to the left of the Wildlife Preserve, we have our Bistro. Now, down here at the bottom, next to the Badge Beacon, we're going to have our roller coaster and our nightclub in those spaces. Straight across from the Bistro, we're actually going to skip a space and do a solar tracker. Our last three decorations is going to go in these three spaces in the middle here. And the order I did that was the egg spinner ride on the right, in the middle with the flying ride, and the last space with our drop tower. Now moving quickly on over to decorations, let's start at the bottom next to the ACU building. And we're going to grab a Park Oasis and put it right next to that. just above the Park Oasis, we have our Apatosaurus garden sculpture. Down at the bottom of this section, we did a T-Rex garden sculpture and our water path garden. To the right, just below the Ferris wheel, we have two 3x3 decorations, being the Cherry Blossom and the Park of Prehistory. Next to the arcade on the bottom right, we're going to do our tar pit. Just in front of the drop tower, we did our flower bed as well as the water fountain just above that. Next to the roller coaster on the right side, we're going to do a geyser on the right square, and on the left square, we're going to do a daisy bed. Just above the maze, we're going to do another geyser. And below the go-kart track, we're going to do two tropical boulevards. Right here behind the hotel, we're going to do a geyser at the top next to the egg spinner. And in that last square, we're going to do our Juggernaut 32 statue to go in our herbivore area. Makes sense. The spot just below the Navigator blimp ride in the middle, we have our Velociraptor garden sculpture, and just above the blimp ride, we're going to do an Apatosaurus fossil. Just above the Cloud 9 balloon, we have a Triceratops sculpture. And above that, we are going to do our John Hammond Memorial. And in this section at the top, we're actually going to put two decorations on the left side, being the Amber Pedestal and our last Tropical Boulevard. Right here behind the Dizzy Dino ride, we have a arch and a bonfire. In between our bistro and our solar panel, we're going to do Earth Park. And for our last three decorations down here on the bottom right, we're going to put our Stegosaurus garden sculpture in the middle and two tropical planters on either end. Now I'm going to quickly place our herbivores down, and I will see you guys in 2 seconds. Well, more like 0.5 seconds to you. And voila, we have all of our herbivores down. So I guess we'll start right here above the badge beacon. We have Ankylosaurus Gen 2. We have Eolumbia. We have Ankylodocus in the middle here. We have Pterosaur at the top. Brachiosaurus below that. To the left, we do actually have Ranchetta, which I didn't place when I placed the carnivores. So there it is now. To the right, we have Kentrosaur and Ankylosaur. Below Ankylosaur, we have Apatosaur next to the Apatosaurus fossil, because, you know, that makes sense. Dracolux and Sinoceratops below that. On the very right corner, we have Triceratops, Tajangasaur, Euphocephalus, Stegosaur Gen 2, Stegoceratops, Pachycephalosaurus, Therizinosaurus, and Uranium and Bonitosaura in the middle. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoy your new park, and don't forget to share this to a friend, leave a like, and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. It helps show me you guys want to see more content just like this, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a wonderful day.